All right, Shalom. I'd like to give all honor, praise, and glory to my power, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Honors to the different elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Honors to the elders I'm under. Elder Sekalah, the Yahweh, call blessings, protection to the men and women and children who's waiting for the return of our Adonai and power, all right, to deliver us. All right, because 1/3 of our people is going to be delivered. All right, whom the Lord is going to protect. All right, in these latter days. All right, including 144,000, the governing body. All right, and it's just some updates, quick news. It says Iran Supreme Leader warns Trump's warships can be sunk as nuclear talks are held in Geneva. The U.S. president says their army is the world's strongest, but the strongest army in the world can sometimes be slapped so hard that it cannot get up. All right, that's from the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said Tuesday. All right, and I'm not just going to read the article, but you know, I was just thinking these talks have been going on for about 2 days now. And this morning, they were doing drills in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, they've closed it off to do to fire missiles. All right, you have a couple of carrier groups, I think, out there as well, doing exercises around Geneva. All right, and tensions are heating back up again right before the summer, of course, and I'm gonna keep emphasizing this right before the midterms. All right, but we're seeing that at this point, man, and they've burned, like about a week ago, they burnt the effigy of Baal. All right, so we know, just repeating this over again, how this, everything is being exposed, everything is coming out into the light. All right, as to who we are as the Israelites, as to who Esau is, who the wicked is of the earth. All right, but I'm gonna just throw a couple of scriptures. All right, because you see these nations, they're not they're tired of this, man. All right, and these are signs of the end. All right, prophecy is fulfilling itself. All right, it's about just mainly just two scriptures. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. All right, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. All right, let the weak say, I am strong. All right, all these particular nations. All right, they're standing against Babylon the Great. All right, and they let the weak say, I'm strong. So you see this, like I always say, in spite of whatever negotiations, whatever diplomacy or deals these people are going to make, all right, it's not going to stand, man. All right, let's see something. It's Isaiah 50. Let me see something. Yep, this is the book of Isaiah 57 and 19. I create the fruit of the lips. Peace, peace to him that is far off, and to him that is near, saith the Lord, and I will heal him. Who is that? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says, but the wicked are like the troubled sea, and it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. All right, there is no peace, saith my power to the wicked. There is no peace. All right, because the Lord got to stir things up, because these things are they all connected, man. They're interlocked, man. One thing happens and it affects a multitude of other things, man. And I just typed in, all right, because we're going to see this again. All right, and I typed in, how does the closing of the Strait of Hormuz affect us? It says the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical bottleneck for roughly 20% of global oil consumption, would trigger an immediate, all right, massive oil spike in global oil prices, potentially from $120 to $130 a barrel. Severe inflation severely impacting U.S. consumer gas prices and shipping costs. We've seen that 2008, a couple other times gas prices went up. All right, and how did the trickle down effect go? The gas prices went up. The cost of goods and services went up. All right, because they had to fund these vehicles. All right, as far as supply chain. All right, and of course that affected the food. All right, supermarkets went up, and for the most part, them prices, like I always said, them prices went up, and they never came down, man. All right, they price gouged and they never came down in spite of all of those things subsiding. So you're gonna see that again, man. All right, cost of living is gonna go up. All right, and this is the Lord's doing, man. All right, key impacts on the U.S. and global economy: gas, diesel, jet fuel prices will likely surge, affecting logistics and travel and manufacturing. All right, economic shock: a significant inflationary shock could occur, impacting global economy. Closure will likely trigger direct U.S. military intervention to secure the waterway. All right, the flow of goods and particular chemicals could be disrupted. All right, it says although the U.S. imports only about 7% of its oil from the Persian Gulf, the global nature of oil pricing means that a shutdown of this magnitude would still have severe immediate financial consequences for U.S. consumers. All right, so the scales on a balance get tipped. All right, and it's going to affect the other side, regardless, man. All right, and I was just thinking, all right, a gold and silver, in spite of just thinking out loud and just learning. All right, gold and silver is just going to continue to rise, man. All right, either that or they're just going to have to keep manipulating the markets, man, doing witchcraft, man. All right, because the dollar is continuing to sink, and there's no jobs out here, and you, guaranteed, man. Babylon is trying to hold together, but all hell is just gonna break loose, man. All right, the Lord's prophecies are going to stand. I'm gonna just grab this and I'm gonna close. All right, just some quick news. All right, because I have a feeling that that's just going to go forward, man. All right, they're gonna go to war. All right, so speaking as a man. All right, all these nations are eventually going to go to war. This is the book of Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want of me. All right, for my mouth hath commanded in the spirit of gathering. And he have casted the lots for them, and he have divided it unto them line by line. They shall possess it forever from generation to generation, and they shall dwell in it. So the Lord's counsel is going to stand regardless of what man does. All right, doesn't matter. All right, World War III is on its way. All right, so with that, I pray this is edifying, and with that, I'd like to say shalom.